Another month, another new developer stream for Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, where the team over at Visionary Realms took on the task of providing us with updates to the world building and class development side of things. Whilst this was off the trail of the Co-Carnage stream, the team didn't disappoint, by providing us an insight into the current world building and class design for not only future pre-alpha sessions, but for the game as a whole going forward. This video will be split into the following sections, discussing the 10 burning questions, class design, world building, and finally my thoughts. Like any content I produce, the information discussed at the time and from the stream and this video can change. Pantheon itself is a game in development, and any of these features mentioned during this and the source material could be widely different in comparison to when it launches or even sooner during future updates. This video is not to be a replacement for the stream, which I still highly suggest you go listen and watch if you have not done so yet, but just to add my thoughts and highlight certain aspects of the stream that I enjoyed and I'm personally looking forward to. But that being said, let's dive in. Answering a few burning questions from the VIP community, this time around there were certainly 10 burning questions. Albeit the usual question of the when is the next PA session was floated around at the start, it wasn't long before the stream moved into answering some of the further questions in depth. One of these was regarding what changes could people expect to see in Thronefast in the upcoming pre-alpha test session. With the vast changes in the weather system, the status of the terrain and greyboxing, and the day-night cycle, the immersion of the game going forward is set to be spectacular, if not requiring a torch to go around at night. As I find immersion one of the best reasons to play a game, whether or not it is an RPG, RTS, or MMORPG, this is something I find appealing. The fact is that the current examples that have been shown in recent updates show that Pantheon prides itself on providing a level of immersion that has been truly missing from the gaming scene across many years. It was also confirmed that the first implementation of the crafting system will be out in this next upcoming PA session. We're inspired to go out into the world, find those nodes, and ultimately get the first taste of what it's going to be like going forward to how we develop our weapons and armor and tools for the future. And with a banking system that would be in operation during the next PA testing phase, if we can finally store our shiny hard-learned loot or shiny crafted loot in addition to all those crafting resources that will inevitably fill my bag space to the point where it will be crying. Not only that, but the team were also able to confirm other mechanical systems such as the near-death and death system as mentioned in July 2022's newsletter, being one of the other big name implementations. Whilst I've not covered the full extent of the burning questions listed in this stream, I feel that there is something for hearing these questions in their entirety, and I hope with the few aspects that I have mentioned here that it would encourage you to go listen to the stream if you have not done so. After all, the main premise of these questions is to answer those proposed by the community. With that in mind, the variety of the last stream was sufficiently focused around the next upcoming PA session, so it is no small wonder why the community was focused about getting every morsel that they could from the burning questions. But before we run into the next section, we also confirmed that the sprinting system will be involved, so hopefully our time in Terminus will be a little bit faster than before. But new systems and their implementation have not been the only element of change that is shown throughout the stream. They also looked at some key class changes and their thoughts behind them. While they delved into this, however, they did take the time to confirm that the Cleric class would be available for the first ever time to play in the upcoming PA session, which is bound to raise some eyebrows and some glee from the upcoming testers waiting for it. The focus of this section, however, was to give a breakdown to some of the further ideas behind the three classes in question. In this particular case, it was that of the Dire Lord, the Wizard, and the Shaman. I'll have these highlights on screen, but their inclusion shows us a refinement of the ideas for the class designs, and how the feel of the classes are just as important as their skills and mechanics. For example, we see with the Wizard highlights that we see the team has specifically targeted that they want to reinforce the class dynamic of a wizard being a glass cannon, alongside highlighting mechanical alterations to certain elements of the class, such as focus with the wizard. This has a good feeling for myself. In recent years, I've seen a lot of the times where MMO classes have lost their identity, with the focus of making them engaging for the many, whilst removing many of their unique skills, abilities, and traits that originally gave them their appeal. With the return to the basics and emphasizing the core mechanics of classes, we may see the return to more meaningful choices when we choose our characters, and bring out that level of immersion and meaningful choice that came with it. To continue on with this update, the team went on to explore further elements of the class design with some of the updated abilities. Although, for this video, I will only focus on the Essence Harvester ability from the Dire Lord that was shown during this stream. Now, initially, there doesn't seem to be anything different about this skill from the others. However, the keen-eyed among you will note that towards the bottom of the skill, it now shows that it scales with attribution bonuses. With the renewed focus on itemization, the implementation of these abilities and skills increasing based on their attributes is a nice interaction. First and foremost, because it makes sense with the types of improvement that the game feels like it should bring. These reveals in the stream, after all, are just works in development, but the ideas are honestly refreshing to hear. It goes without saying that a return to the traditional aspects of class design, where a class feels like a meaningful choice and its skills having a meaningful impact, will certainly harken back to the older styles of MMOs, which Pantheon seems to want to get into. And whilst these new class designs will be in play, we will also be experiencing a new MMO world to run around and explore them in, and this wasn't without comment during the stream. The team compiled a before and after revealer teaser, showing that the updates to areas from their true form since the previous Greybox days, and this really does show how the development cycle has taken shape between the previous PA sessions and the potentials for what we'll be seeing in PA sessions to come. The world of Terminus, as shown before, has had a number of developments that have increased the feel for adventuring while still running around. With the world becoming more immersive at each stage, we can certainly expect that running around the nooks and crannies of the world will not only be rewarding in the gameplay sense, but for the experiences of finding locales and vistas for the pure basis of exploration. Granted, the world is restricted to what we can see for now, but it does give me high hopes for the future. With the already diverse zones in comparison, for an example, such as Amber Fate or Wild's End, I cannot wait to see the differences between the upcoming reveals and what the upcoming zones will be like, especially now how the new system is implemented. But now, what would I have to say about class design and world building and how it has progressed? Personally, I feel that the developments so far have been nothing but positive. The emphasis on designing to get it right before release, rather than remedy once it is out, is the strongest feeling that I get from these design choices. Changes in mmorpgs, especially those towards the class design aspect, have always had their detractions. If a change goes too far, a class may end up being too lopsided or skewed, but similarly, if it's changed too little, it may feel redundant upon the release of further or new content. At this early stage in class design, we can see that the refocus of design back to the fundamentals is a good prospect. Not only does it keep the idea of the class in full view, but these ideas are focused to ensure that the true original intent for the class is maintained. Not only that, but the addition to include stat bonuses to abilities just makes sense, and coupled with the additions of itemization, shows that the ongoing process is clearly in safe hands. Moving to world building, there is very little in the process I would want to reflect on further, in essence due to its very nature. World building or the world itself is likely to suffer from the trial of first impressions more so than classes. Whilst the class may evolve and develop as it levels, the world, for the most part, will remain as you see it. However, the additional exploration systems in Pantheon will keep the world fresh, to the best of its abilities. The idea of returning to previous areas to explore once hidden nooks, or simply adventuring in different ways, will hopefully keep the world of Terminus itself as fresh as possible. To end, I feel the progression of world building and class design in Pantheon so far has been promising, and ultimately has given me the most excitement for an MMO in development for some time. Whilst I remain cautiously optimistic, as with any reasonable commentary, I shall always be happy to see a new update from Visionary Realms and the development of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. That being said, that is it for this video, and I thank you for watching and coming along this journey with me. If you have enjoyed the video, please look to like and subscribe to the channel, as this will help me develop and grow as a creator, and hopefully bring you further videos to enjoy. Do you have any comments? Please feel free to post them down below, where we can have an active and honest discussion regarding the game and its current developments. But for now, take care, and I hope to see you next time.